welcome to Moringa for Life Farm and our series for planting and growing moringa. So in this section I'm going to show you what it looks like to make cuttings. So moringa can grow from a cutting. I usually use the dimension of my finger for the width. However, I did a planting early in the season to see if thinner dimensions could also root, and they can. So these are small, thinner than the width of my finger. But you can see all of this growth is from these cuttings. This is quite a lot of growth, and the cutting is about ½ an inch. So it is possible to do it in less. And so what we do is, this is pretty substantial. This is a cutting that I just lopped that off pretty much at the soil level, and if you look at previous little video clips, you'll see the planting boxes. So these get cut all the way to about 2 or 3 inches of the soil. This has already also been cut at the top, so this will produce 2 cuttings, 2 trees. So we put about 1 foot length down into the soil, and you can see you can plant multiple cuttings in a container together. These are ones that did not take, and they, you just don't know what's going to take and what isn't. So I'm taking these out so that you can start to see. Now this is a possibility. It's still green here. It could still send shoots out, but these ones did not take, and these ones did. They were pretty thin, but it sent the growth out from the base. So this is the actual cutting, and these 2 shoots are coming from the base of that cutting. So that's what happens, as well as the growth coming out of the top. So here, this is a cutting, and you can see that the growth is coming out all along. It's got some coming from the base, so there's 2 shoots from the base, as well as every place that there was a leaf that got harvested, more growth is coming from that leaf node. So this is a cutting, and it's very successful. Many inside of a container, so you can put them close together. What will happen, and what's happening under the soil, the bottom of this is becoming the taproot. So I'm not going to pull these out to show that, because I don't want to kill a tree, but that's what's happening. And so when you put this down into the soil, you want to make sure that these leaf nodes are covered, and this will be a successful planting because it's such a wide diameter. But the thinner ones can be planted as well. You have to have patience. This has been in there since July, beginning of July. It's now the end of September, and we're seeing this good amount of growth, and these will be able to be planted as trees next season. So they won't be planted until spring of next season, but they will already be a good substantial tree. So that's doing a cutting. Very possible to do with moringa. And this is Southern California, so your climate will also determine your ability to do cuttings. In colder climates, you have a shorter season, so unless you have this wide of a cutting at the beginning of the season, you might not have enough time for that cutting to start to grow. But in warmer climates, especially tropical, you can do this every day, all day long, and all year long in a tropical setting. But here in San Diego, our season ends around November. About Thanksgiving is the last harvest that I do, even though we might still have some growth through December. But we're having short days and long nights, and it's cold at night. So that ends our season, and it begins in the spring when we've had 6 days straight of full sun. So there's a countdown that goes on in spring when we know that the season has begun. The way to keep track of that, if you're in a zone close to San Diego, is to log on to my website, and I will be announcing on there when the growing season has begun for us. And so you have to kind of alter that depending on what growing season you're in. Thanks for stopping in, and we're going to go into the greenhouse in the next section.